Most of us spend our entire lives chasing happiness. We believe it's hiding in a bigger house, a more prestigious job, or a life filled with luxury. But have you ever stopped to wonder why, even after we get what we once dreamed of, there's still a quiet emptiness inside? Why do we feel incomplete, even when we seem to have everything we thought we wanted? This feeling isn't new. In fact, it's a timeless human struggle, beautifully captured in an old story about three brothers. Once, in a peaceful village nestled beside a dense forest, lived three bruisers, Sammy and Dami. They were simple, hard-working men, known for their honesty and kindness. Every day, they would venture into the forest to cut wood, which they would then sell at the market. Their lives were modest, but despite their simple existence, their hearts often felt a familiar void. One evening, as they sat around a small, crackling fire, the eldest brother, Roshan, broke the comfortable silence. What's the true purpose of life? He wondered aloud. I think I'll finally be happy when I have a big, beautiful house, a place to call my own, where I can feel secure. For me, he said, it's a huge farm, overflowing with crops. If I had that, I'd never have to worry about tomorrow again. That would be true happiness. The youngest, Domi, smiled softly, a wistful look in his eyes. I don't need much, he said. I just want a loving wife who waits for me every evening, someone to share my life with. Their wishes were different, yet the feeling driving them was the same, a deep, persistent emptiness they hoped to fill. A few days later, as the brothers were returning from the forest, their arms heavy with wood, they saw an old man struggling on the side of the road. He was bent over, trying to lift a heavy basket of apples. Without a second thought, the brothers rushed to his side. Grandfather, can we carry this for you? Roshan asked kindly. The old man looked up, his face etched with wrinkles but his eyes bright and clear. He smiled gratefully. Thank you, my sons. These apples are heavy, and my home is just a little way from here. The basket was much heavier than it looked, but the three brothers carried it together without a single complaint. As they walked, a strange sense of peace began to settle over them. When they finally arrived at the old man's humble home, that feeling lingered, warming their hearts in a way they hadn't felt before. The old man smiled kindly at them. You are good men, he said, his voice gentle. Tell me, what do you desire most in your lives? Encouraged by his warmth, each brother shared his deepest dream. Roshan spoke of his mansion, Sammy of his farm, and Dami of his desire for a loving wife. The old man listened patiently to each one. When they had finished, he nodded slowly. Your dreams are within reach, he told them. In a nearby town, a wealthy businessman is looking for honest, hard-working men just like you. Go and offer him your help. Your efforts will not go unrewarded. Trusting the old man's words, the brothers set off for the town. Just as he had said, they found the businessman and began to work for him. They poured all their energy and sincerity into their tasks. Roshan, with his sharp mind, managed the business so wisely that it flourished. Sammy, with his deep knowledge of the land, impressed local landlords and helped cultivate bountiful harvests. And Dami, with his gentle and sincere nature, won the heart of the businessman's own daughter. Before long, all their dreams had come true. Roshan built his grand mansion, its walls strong and its rooms vast. Sammy became the owner of vast, fertile lands that stretched as far as the eye could see. And Dami married the woman he loved, starting a new life with her. For a while, they were ecstatically happy. They had everything they had ever wanted, but slowly, almost imperceptibly, that happiness began to fade. Roshan's grand house started to feel cold and lonely. The echo of his own footsteps in the empty halls was a constant reminder of his solitude. Sammy's endless fields brought not peace, but constant stress. He spent sleepless nights worrying about the weather, the crops, and the profits. And Dami's marriage, which had started with so much warmth, slowly lost its spark. Laughter was replaced by arguments, and closeness by a painful distance. The same old emptiness returned, but this time it was deeper and more painful than before. They had achieved their dreams, so why did they feel more lost than ever? Desperate for answers, they decided to search for the wise old man who had set them on this path. After a long search, they found him sitting peacefully by a river, just as they remembered him. Roshan approached him, his voice soft with despair. "Grandfather, we did as you said. Our dreams came true, but our hearts are still unhappy. We feel even emptier now." The old man looked at them, his eyes filled with compassion. He smiled gently. "Sons, your mistake was thinking that happiness comes from what you have. You sought a house, a farm, a partner. But true happiness doesn't come from acquiring things. It comes from being grateful for what is already yours." He continued, "You have everything you ever wanted, but you lack the one thing that gives it all meaning: gratitude. Without gratitude, happiness is like smoke in the wind. It appears for a moment, and then it's gone." His words struck the brothers like a bolt of lightning. It was a truth so simple, yet so profound, that they had completely overlooked it. That day changed everything. The brothers returned to their lives, but this time they saw everything with new eyes. Roshan no longer saw an empty mansion. He saw a beautiful home and began to fill it with warmth and friendship. He cherished the shelter and security it provided. Sammy stopped worrying about the next harvest and started to enjoy the one he had. He walked his fields, not with anxiety, but with appreciation for the earth and the abundance it provided. And Dami stopped focusing on what was wrong in his marriage and started noticing all the small things that were right. He rediscovered the love in his wife's smile, the comfort in her presence, and the joy of sharing a life together. They finally understood. Happiness isn't a destination you arrive at. It's not found in wealth, love, or success alone. It's a state of being, born from gratitude. The moment you start to truly appreciate what you already have: the roof over your head, the food on your table, the people by your side is. The moment happiness stops being a fleeting visitor and becomes a permanent companion. It's always been there, waiting for you to notice. So take a look around. What are you grateful for today? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that helps us live a more meaningful life. See you in the next one.